Something happened in the spiritual realm that cannot be undone. While you were sleeping, while you were silent, while you were choosing peace over confrontation, a judgment was passed. Someone who tried to replicate your energy, steal your essence, mimic your frequency, wear your identity like a costume they didn't earn. They triggered something ancient, something final. The universe doesn't just watch when a chosen one is violated. It responds. And what's coming for them now isn't karma. It's divine intervention. The kind that rewrites timelines. The kind that erases what was built on stolen ground. You didn't ask for this. You didn't curse them. You didn't even speak their name out loud. But heaven heard what you didn't say. And the response has already begun. They thought they could take what makes you rare and use it for themselves. They thought your light was transferable. They thought your anointing was accessible. They were wrong. And now, the spiritual economy is balancing itself in ways that will be undeniable, public, and permanent. You're about to witness what happens when someone mistakes grace for weakness and touches what God has marked as untouchable. This isn't about revenge. This is about divine order. When a chosen one is betrayed, the cosmos doesn't treat it like a minor offense. It treats it like a violation of sacred law. Because you're not just anyone. You carry assignments that affect timelines. You hold frequencies that shift atmospheres. You are placed here with precision, and your purpose is interwoven with the destiny of others. When someone tries to copy your energy, they're not just stealing from you. They're interfering with divine architecture. They're disrupting a plan that predates them. And the universe has a way of correcting that disruption with force. This is why divine justice is rare. Most conflicts are human. Most betrayals are relational. But when a chosen one is targeted, when their essence is stolen, when their peace is weaponized against them, heaven moves differently. It's not about fairness. It's about alignment. It's about protecting what must remain intact so the greater mission can unfold. And you've been under that protection longer than you realize. Every time you were overlooked, you are being shielded. Every time you were betrayed, you were being refined. And now, the ones who thought they could take from you without consequence are about to learn what it costs to touch the anointed. You remember that moment, don't you? That moment when you had every right to speak up, to expose them, to defend yourself publicly, and you chose silence instead. Not because you were afraid, not because you didn't have proof, but because something deeper told you to wait, to trust, to let it unfold without your interference. That decision wasn't weakness. It was the most powerful choice you've ever made. Because in that moment, you shifted from human reaction to divine alignment. You handed the situation to a higher court. And that court doesn't operate on human timelines or human logic. It operates on spiritual law, the kind that sees motive, measures intent, weighs the heart. You didn't know it then, but that moment of restraint activated something irreversible. It signaled to the spiritual realm that you were ready, ready to be trusted with greater authority, ready to be elevated beyond the pettiness of ego battles, ready to walk in the kind of power that doesn't need to announce itself because it's undeniable. And while you were choosing faith over retaliation, the universe was taking notes, recording, preparing, aligning forces in your favor that you won't see coming until they've already arrived. What you didn't see in that moment was who else was watching. Divine forces were present, yes. Angels assigned to your bloodline, your mission, your protection. But dark forces were there too, watching to see if you would break, if you would curse, if you would lower yourself to the frequency of those who wronged you. Because if you had, they could have legally interfered. They could have delayed your elevation. They could have tangled your destiny in cycles of bitterness and distraction. But you didn't give them that opening. You stayed quiet. You stayed steady. You chose the high road when every human instinct told you to burn it all down. And that choice created a legal shift in the spirit. It locked the door on the enemy's access to your timeline. It activated clauses in your spiritual contract that were waiting for your obedience. The forces of light took note. The forces of darkness took note. And both knew in that instant that you were no longer someone who could be manipulated by betrayal. You had become untouchable, spiritually fortified, sealed. You've been through this more than once. The coworker who stole your idea and got promoted. You said nothing. The friend who twisted your words and turned others against you. You walked away. The family member who took credit for your sacrifice. You let it go. The partner who used your vulnerability as ammunition. You healed in silence. The competitor who copied your strategy and acted like it was original. You kept building. Every single time you had the evidence. You had the audience. You had the opportunity to destroy their credibility. And every single time you chose something higher. You chose peace over being right. You chose faith over control. You chose to believe that if God allowed it, God would also address it. And here's what you didn't realize. Each of those moments was a test. Not to see if you are weak, but to see if you are ready for kingship. Because kings don't argue with peasants. They don't lower themselves into public disputes. They rule from a place so elevated that the noise below doesn't even reach them. And you've been passing those tests, one after another, quietly, consistently, building a spiritual resume that heaven recognizes even if earth doesn't. And now the courtroom scene is unfolding. Not in a building, not with human judges, but in the realm where every motive is exposed and every hidden thing is brought to light. The ones who tried to copy your energy, who stole your peace, who used your name to elevate themselves, they're being summoned, not by you, by the judge who never sleeps. And the evidence is being presented. Every lie they told, every manipulation they crafted, every moment they smiled in your face while plotting your downfall. It's all being replayed. And the verdict isn't up for debate, because they didn't just wrong you. They interfered with a divine assignment. They touched what was set apart, and the consequences are being released now. Watch their counterfeit success begin to crumble. Watch the doors that opened through deception begin to close. Watch the relationships they built on lies begin to collapse. Watch their peace erode. Watch their sleep become restless. Watch the weight of what they did settle on them in ways they can't explain or escape. This isn't you wishing harm. This is divine justice correcting the imbalance. And it's already in motion. You are not like them. You never were. This is why they wanted what you had. This is why they studied your moves, mirrored your energy, tried to replicate your results. Because they could sense something on you that they didn't have. A mark, an anointing, a frequency that doesn't come from effort or image. It comes from assignment. You were chosen before you were born, selected for a mission that required specific gifts, specific trials, specific preparation. And everything you've endured wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You've been marked by God, recognized in the Spirit, protected by forces they can't even see. And now that marking is becoming visible, not just spiritually, but practically. People are starting to notice something different about you. Opportunities are shifting in your direction without you chasing them. Favor is finding you in unexpected places. Enemies are removing themselves without you saying a word. This is what happens when heaven decides to make your identity undeniable. The elevation is beginning, and it doesn't look like what you expected. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's solid, permanent, aligned. Doors that were closed for years are opening with ease. Resources that were blocked are flowing. People who owe you are suddenly paying debts they forgot about. Relationships that drained you are dissolving without drama. And peace, the kind you haven't felt in years, is settling over your life like a blanket. This is restoration, not just of what was taken, but of what was delayed. And it's happening now because you've been cleared for it. The trials proved you. The betrayals refined you. The silence positioned you. And now, The season of reaping what you've sown in tears, in faith, in obedience has arrived. You're about to see breakthrough after breakthrough, not because you fought for it, but because you trusted through it. And that trust unlocked a level of favor that doesn't make sense to people who do and understand how God moves. This is your moment to stand firm, to stay aligned, to refuse the temptation to go back to old patterns, old frequencies, old battles. The elevation is here, but so is the test to see if you'll stay humble in it. Comment 777 if you receive this word. Let it be a declaration that you're awake, that you're aligned, that you're ready for everything God is releasing. Subscribe if you want to keep walking in this level of spiritual clarity. Share this with someone who needs to know they're not crazy for choosing silence, for walking away, for trusting God when it didn't make sense. And stay alert, because the next 30 days will confirm everything you just heard. Watch what falls apart for them. Watch what falls into place for you. Watch how the universe balances the scales in ways that will leave no doubt that you are always under divine protection. This is not the end. This is the beginning of your vindication. Stand firm, stay quiet, and watch God move.